So if you've been on the internet in the last few days, you've probably seen that Veronica Roth is writing new Divergent novels. And I don't really know how to feel about that. I definitely want this video to be divorced from my own opinions on Divergent and just look at these new Divergent books as a concept, what they could represent, what potentially these books could do very well, and what they could maybe be as a trend that I kind of don't like. Because I don't want to make this about my views on Divergent because I haven't even read the books. They just don't appeal to me. And say about Veronica Roth what you want, but I heard some great things about her When Among Crows series, so I don't want to talk bad about it. I don't know, it doesn't appeal to me. These novels as a concept is something that I just am fascinated by because she is definitely kind of writing alternate universe fanfiction, and she kind of basically confirmed that because this is not a retelling of Divergent, but it kind of is because she's basically doing Divergent just again with these two new books, but the events are completely different, which is fascinating to me because alternate universe as a concept is nothing new. It has been around in fanfiction forever, but we're seeing this here the first time, or the first time that I know of. I'm sorry if this has been a common trend for years and this entire video is stupid, and please tell me. I really don't want to be wrong about this, but please tell me if I'm totally wrong. But this is for me as I've seen the first time that an own author has gone back to that universe, and not just in a legacy sequel or something, but within an actual retelling of the story. The first thing I want to say is that actually I kind of really do like that idea on first thought, because I really like the idea of an author just being able to go back and just have another shot at something they've already created. Because I don't know, that sounds just really appealing to me, because maybe an author has grown. And from what I've heard of Veronica Roth, specifically at this point, I've heard that she definitely has matured a lot as a writer. So it could be very cool to see the author has maybe grown in their craft or something, make another shot at a concept that they have already published. And maybe they didn't get to do everything they wanted within the first attempt at it. Maybe there was interference from the publisher, the editor. Maybe they just weren't confident enough to put in some ideas that were originally there. There's so much things you could do with that, and I'm just really kind of fascinated by that idea. Maybe they just don't even want to recreate the original novel at all. Maybe they just have a completely other idea for the entire premise, and that just sounds so cool to me. Otherwise, I just also think that it could be not good as a trend, because I definitely also on second thought think we've had so many discussions in media in general about everything being derivative and being based on something that is already there, be that in books sequels to older series or retellings of something, be it in video game remakes, movie remakes, so many homages of the same concept, even music that totally samples everything that has already been before. And I don't want this to be an originality is that kind of thing, because there is originality there. But when I see someone like Veronica Roth, who definitely has championed original fiction with her When Among Crows series, just going back to her other series that is already established and leaving originality behind and just making something in that series again. And I don't even want to say it is a cash grab. It obviously also kind of sounds like that because they are gonna sell, because Divergent has a huge fan base. But I don't know, it just I don't know how to feel about that with the whole thing. And it could also just become a trend in publishing, because if it sells, and it will sell, again, Divergent has a huge fan base, then it could prompt a boatload of other authors to go back to their older work and just basically do it again. And again, in some cases, I don't think that's a bad thing, because like I said before, I actually kind of like the idea of an author being able to go back to a work that they've already written and maybe retell it from another lens, maybe polish up some errors that they made the first time. Maybe they just didn't get to do everything they wanted, and that could be really cool. But also, I just see this huge flood of barely altered stuff where the author maybe added a few other things and just made something completely up that isn't their idea, that wasn't, that really didn't come from their heart or something. And I just don't know how to feel about it maybe becoming a publishing trend. Like the first thought I had for some reason was modern JKR rewriting Harry Potter. I don't think we should even support old Harry Potter, but like, I definitely do not want anything new from that universe ever again. No, please not. And as much as I really want to think that this hopefully won't become something to be exploited, I just don't think so because the publishing industry is garbage. And again, like, is it nostalgia bait to see something from the 2010s be revived? I don't know. It's the same idea that I've had about all these people writing sequels to their own work that has already like concluded, or it just sounds kind of so out of ideas to me sometimes. Maybe with like, we had legacy sequels and obviously in movies and video games, but also in books for like a long time, with someone like Stephen King going back to The Shining with Doctor Sleep, which I'm not even gonna say anything about the quality because I actually like Doctor Sleep, but I'm just saying that as an example. We had like last year, I think Ruth Ware like released a sequel to like one of her older thrillers, and I mean that, in my opinion, was kind of a cash grab because that definitely just was supposed to tie in with the release of the Netflix adaptation of the original book. But again, I'm not even like really a huge fan of legacy sequels. So if these retellings, alternate universe retellings, remakes, readaptations, whatever you want to call them, of these books could become a trend, then I just would probably hate it. Would I hate it less if it was from something I would actually like instead of Divergent? Yeah, I'm a hypocrite. But again, I just don't want to see it become a trend. And oh god, this video is so rambly again. But like, I want to hear opinions on this because all I've seen so far about these books is, yeah, we totally like this. We definitely want this because again, Divergent has a huge fan base. But I just feel very conflicted about it. And not that it's like even the, maybe it's just gonna become this like mini trend where it's like here for like a little while and then we don't get it again, where something like, I want to say like Midnight Sun and Grey by E.L. James really like started the thing where you saw the entire story from like another character's perspective. But now that like, maybe it's being done. I don't even want to say that because maybe it's being done. But like now I want to say that I don't see that as often anymore. Maybe it's just like included like a chapter from another POV in the actual book. And I'm specifically talking about romance here because like, obviously there's the trope of seeing like things from the love interest because that would change the story like around. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to hear my feelings out on the new Divergent sequels and how I really don't know if this is a good thing or not that we are getting them. Obviously, if you're a fan of it, I think this is a good thing because I want everybody who is a fan of it to get more content out of their favorite universe or something. But I personally don't like Divergent, and I just am a little worried what it could implicate if these people see the success of these Divergent books, and again, they're gonna have success, and maybe like think of them as, I don't know, templates for their own trend, and I just don't want to do that. I'm sorry. I would be really over nostalgia bait and bringing old franchises back and just retelling them slightly. That would not be my kind of entertainment I would really be interested in. So yeah, I don't know. Definitely let me know what you think about this. And even though this video was very rambly again, I hope you still enjoyed it. Bye.